I will murder you.
Hello? Alright, well, that's what we're starting with.
I intentionally did that.
Murder is going to happen.
Murder in this game?
It's more likely than you think.
It's more likely than you think. Good job, Kime.
Thank you, thank you. I love that meme.
Let's just go ahead. Take it away, Kime. After we fuck things up with Ashton.
I mean, you can always do the intro now if you want.
Nah, let's go on ahead.
You already know us. Of all the things I said, my connection to the rights is the first thing he points out. As much as I want to keep my own annoyance at bay, I can't stop it from seeping into my voice.
That's completely beside the point here, Ash.
I warned you, Zach.
I get it, alright? But you can't just expect me to turn it down after I made a commitment to a client. I've got to put food on my table.
I didn't say you shouldn't, but you should not be messing with them.
I wasn't messing with them.
And this isn't?
He waved the photos in front of me before dropping the pile on the table with a loud smack. I don't need to look to know we will already attract some attention from the lunchtime crowd. Besides, turning away from him feels almost the same as admitting he's right.
Aw, bickering boyfriends.
There are things more important than his damn case right now. I wish he'd see that.
It was a job, and that ain't how these photos were intended to come out. You think I'd go out of my way just to edit something like this? There's something weird going on here.
And you think Luke Wright will see it that way? You think the Wright missus will find it amusing?
I did not do this for my amusement, Ash. People's lives might be at stake here.
If you understood that in the first place, we wouldn't be having this stupid talk.
Ash, I would punch you in the face.
Luke
Yo.
fucking Wright is a dangerous man, Zach. Keep hanging around them and you'll find yourself burnt to a crisp in your apartment or floating down a river 3 days later.
The fuck?
Yo, what?
This case is...
Will you stop talking about the damn case for once and just listen to me?
No, back up. You can't in media res this shit.
That's what they're doing.
No!
Yep.
Oh,
Also, I guess we should have shown it to Hannah instead. Oops.
Well, who knows? Let's see
Sure.
how this ends up.
Why do you think Isabella's...
For all we know, that could have gotten Zach killed.
Don't you dare bring her into this! We're talking about you and this stupid...
Oh, of course
Buddy
you don't want
boy.
to talk about it. Because you're fucking afraid there's some damn truth to what she's saying now that there's two of us.
Wow.
Damn.
shots fired.
When Zach starts using that language, you know you've messed up.
Oof.
Shit. You've angered the cinnamon roll.
Oh no.
Every expression drains from his face as soon as the words are out of my mouth. They've hit their mark. Each utterance scathed,
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
sharp with nothing but anger and the truth. Yet they are also things I won't typically say out loud in good company, and rather ease people into it before letting it fall. But with Ashley, you just gotta kind of punch.
Yeah, you kind of have to slap him in the face with the news.
Yep. Almost immediately, a wave of regret washes over me. No, Zach, don't. He was being an
What
asshole.
I meant to.
You said enough, Zach.
Ugh.
And he's
There-
still being a dick.
No, I'm getting the feeling that there's something that maybe happened with Ash in the past that Zach just brought up.
Which one of us
Maybe a
was the
little.
one that pointed out that he wears a cross?
I think that might have been you. I don't know.
Was it
Someone
me?
did.
I don't fucking know. But I know it was something.
It was one of the two of us.
It was something that we brought up way back in the long ago.
Mm-hmm.
In like one of the first intercations where he's being a skeptic, and we were like, "Dude, you're wearing a fucking cross."
Yep.
Yeah.
Just for the edge.
Right. The hot topic edgelord. I forgot.
I mean, at least if it had been like an upside down cross, then I would have been like, oh yeah, okay, fine. That's fine.
Ugh.
Without another word, he stands, his chair scraping loudly against the floor, all while my brain races to find something to fix this.
Ain't no going back, hon.
Or saying a fragile friendship, by any means. I like to think we've gone past the stage when we find everything the other says insulting. But there are times when letters and phrases alone can cut deeper than any blade. Mine might even leave a scar. He doesn't let me, however. Instead, he sets a card in front of me.
Back to the old professor.
I wonder if that would have been the priest.
Well, Zach was the one who would have introduced the priest, so I think.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe if we have gone there, we have gotten the option to go to him now also.
Maybe.
The name is familiar, but amidst the cloud of remorse swirling inside my head, I can't bring myself to recall where I've seen it.
You shouldn't be running blind. Call this guy. He'll be less inclined to shout at you. Might even talk some sense into you.
I don't see his face when he leaves, and it is only when the store's bell chimes again do I breathe.
Let's read the journal. October 27th. Disturbed, Zachary decided to show the photographs to Ashton. During lunch at the coffee house, they briefly discussed Zach's sister before the topic veered on the photos. Refusing to believe his friend, Ashton advised him to talk to Andrew instead.
Of all the places, it never crossed my mind I'd end up wandering into the public library today, considering I rarely ever visit. Somehow, there has always been this kind of disconnect between me and books in general. Sure, some of them held my attention in my youth during the brief times of the day I was left to my own with nothing to do. I went through the whole of Grant's collection, as a matter of fact. Read all of them twice or thrice, even. But they never did hold it for long. Most of it never even sticks. Especially after I learned it's simply easier to do things myself if I want to learn stuff. This ain't in the plan in the first place. But after that argument, I really don't have any other choice. Nothing but quiet greets me inside, though. Not the typical mom one will associate with a library, but one akin to a hush prior to an impending trouble. Or perhaps I'm just overthinking again. I really like to think I'm just thinking too much about this, that this is just a lack of sleep talking. Regardless, apart from a group of students murmuring in a corner somewhere, the place is free of its usual visitors. All while my footsteps echo in a manner unsettling enough to raise the hairs at the back of my neck. Much to my relief, it does not take me long to find him, being the only occupant in this side of the room. Professor Andrew Clark. I've never personally met the man, but Ash has spoken highly of him several times. In fact, he is Ash's go-to guy when something's troubling him with a case. My steps are unsure as I approach. At any rate, he greets me with a warm smile like a grandson he hasn't seen in a long time.
Ashton's friend, I take it. Zachary. You'll have to forgive this old man if I don't get your name right.
Oh no, you got it. It's Zach. Zachary Steele, Professor Clark.
He gestures at the empty seat across the table while he returns to his books. The next couple of minutes pass in relative silence as he continues to read and take notes from the pile he's accumulated on the table. Maybe I should have taken a book first before hitting here. But before I can even get far into that idea, the professor clicks the book shut and sets it atop the stack next to him.
Ashton told me you were hoping to get answers from me.
At my confused look, he lets out a small chuckle.
He sent a message ahead. A friend needs to have some sense knocked into him. In verbatim.
Wow.
Amazing.
That boy never changes.
I wasn't really expecting he'd do that.
Although I'm not quite sure what I could share, I'll do my best to help.
Of course, there are a lot of things I want to ask. How do we get out of this mess in the first among tens? Hundreds of concerns in my head. But in the presence of someone I barely know, the thoughts won't easily form. He is nothing but patient, however, and with enough time to mull over, a question finally forms.
Do you believe in the paranormal, Professor?
It's supernatural, actually. Don't worry. It's a common mistake to make, but they really are two different things. The other one deals with what we can't explain at the moment, while the other are things we may not have an explanation to. Here.
He places a couple of papers in front of me, the very same one he was writing on earlier. A study of Luxmore's supernatural culture, in a nutshell.
A friend of mine wrote that a few years ago. He took interest in the city after reading about the stories.
Is this the same friend that mysteriously died?
I forgot about that plot point.
Yep.
So did I. Shit.
I have to
Totally
agree with
him.
him here. Even stories dealing with things you don't see with the naked eye can be rife with culture, and this city thrives on it.
I
Just
love
ask the
reading about
locals.
stuff like that.
Same.
Small
Like
town America has
ghosts,
so many
for
like it.
Among other things. The interpretation has changed over the years, though. Various religions, for example, have their own version. It might not always be a spirit now. It could be a memory, or an imprint, an echo, so to speak. Some are born from curses, even, out of great anger, hatred, or pain. There was this one story. Here it is.
Another book is pulled out from the stack and placed open atop the papers, while he speaks with such passion that it makes me wonder if some part of him believes this to be true. It is interesting, though, even if I'm personally not a fan of such stories. And soon, hours pass without my notice.
In the end, it asked for something to be sacrificed in order to destroy whatever anchors the wraith. A sad tale, that one, but the simplest grudge can bring the ugliest, even in the kindest person. with some people none the wiser. Oh, I'm sorry. I just went on.
Nah, it's good. Are you familiar with the Ermengarde mansion, though?
Of course. That goes without saying. Who hasn't heard of the local legend? In fact, you aren't the first one to ask me about that recently. Although, word of the mouth is, someone has already bought it.
Ah, yeah. The right couple. It was a close friend who handled that sale.
So I heard. Well, don't think the house being bought by anyone would stop us from talking about it. What is it about the mansion, then?
I just want to ask what you think of it, sir.
We're going to need more than an afternoon for that, young man. You see, it's the kind that has changed over the years, passed down from one person to the next. Sometimes, it's the Lord William who haunts the place. There are versions where it's the lady of the house. But my favorite, a personal favorite, would have to be the ones that followed after the disappearance of the kind daughter.
Ooh.
See, this is what I thought we would.
What about these, then?
This is what I thought we would get the first time we went to him with Isabella.
Yeah. A little bit more story.
There is a moment of hesitation on my part before I pull out Miss Wright's photos and lay them all in front of him. Unlike Ash, though, the professor inspects each print with great interest. That gives me some hope, at least.
When were these taken?
Torbjorn, what are you doing here?
Just the other day. Do you think those are the same?
You're making a chicken out of a feather. Thought I could bring some giggles.
Perhaps. Perhaps not. There were certainly instances when the film would pick up what the human eyes weren't able to see. But then, it could also have been human error.
I didn't edit it in any way. You have my word on that, Professor. They all just came out like that.
Then, if it is what you're thinking, I'd strongly advise against doing something reckless and further tangling with them. Accounts about them may be riveting to you, but most of it often ends in an unpleasant manner.
What about those people in the house? If there is something in there, shouldn't they know? I'm sure they're already familiar with the legends, but...
Some people might deserve it, however.
Oh,
Ooh.
damn,
knows
Professor
more.
Clark.
He knows more than he's letting on.
He's gonna be the next
Sir,
one
what,
dead.
sir?
Okay.
The anime glasses.
God damn it.
And according to Keikaku.
Oh, God damn
Thanks, Kime.
it.
You're welcome.
Kikaku means plan.
Thank you. All of a sudden, the tenderness in the professor's eyes disappears, his face becoming unreadable. As though catching himself, he hastily clears his throat, gathers his books, and rises from his seat.
Professor?
I'm sorry. I just remembered something I neglected to do.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
You'll have to excuse me, Zachary.
Seems legit.
Dr. Sharp, no.
Fake news.
All right. Do you need any help with that?
Don't let my looks fool you, son. I can still carry a few hundreds. I've been doing this for years. I'll see you some other time if you have any other questions.
Of course.
Professor Clark, undercover agent.
It was nice knowing you, Professor.
Interesting turn phrase.
Yeah.
Interesting phrasing, Zach. It was nice knowing you. That's not
Is-
usually how you say goodbye to someone. It's usually
Is that a bad attempt at American slang?
maybe, but usually it was nice talking with you.
or nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you. Nice scaring the shit out of you.
Fuck,
Not.
mate.
It was nice knowing you, Professor. Too bad you're gonna die.
Sure sucks being an NPC.
Coco says as though the player characters can't die.
All right, I'm gonna bet. I'm gonna bet a whole money dollar that Professor Clark is the next one dead.
A whole money dollar?
A whole money dollar.
Holy
a
shit.
whole money dollar.
Dang. If only I had a whole money dollar.
I know, right?
See, the thing is, I'm pretty sure that's gonna happen too. So like,
I
what's the
have
point
like
betting?
I have like 10 cents on the floor over here.
I got a
Wow, whole
nickel.
time.
His name's Timmy.
I've got a sock.
Hey, I'll take it.
I don't want your sock.
I'll take it. All according to my plan to make a replica of Coco.
All according to Kokaku.
Bad.
What if you end up making a replica of her cat though? Since
Double
Honestly,
kick.
honestly, it'd probably just end up being a copycat of her foot, which would be really
Just a
weird.
singular foot.
Yeah, just the foot, like no ankle, no toes or anything, just the foot.
It's things
like the ones that wash off in Canada.
And in Seattle.
Well, we will wrap this episode up right here, talking about feet and clones and keikakus. Or kokakus. Thank you guys for watching, and see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
It took me a while to understand sex. The sudden no-nonsense comment surprised Catherine. Rosa went on. I was the same as you. I had always had an adverse feeling for it. Like it's dirty, that I should be ashamed for enjoying it. I had always thought love would make sex clean. But that's not how it works. There are two separate things, indeed.
I had no idea you know this stuff. I'm listening.
So just because you don't like sex, it doesn't mean you don't love him, Kath. Catherine looked up at her. Why do you even care so much to hurt him? What do you think love is?
Baby, don't hurt me.
The warm feeling returned to Catherine's heart.